Welcome to the Vegas Insider channel here on YouTube. As we look ahead to the Stanley Cup Playoffs, they are here. Kevin Rogers with you and joined by 15-year NHL veteran Matthew Barnaby. You've seen him on television, you've seen him on the ice, and he's got a lot of great info for the Stanley Cup, which is underway. And Matthew, first things first, the two favorites, Colorado in the West, Florida in the East. Which one of those two do you see going further here?
Wow, that's a tough one. Very tough one. Right out of the gate, you're throwing it at me. I'm going to go with Florida. I think the East is a beast, but the West is as well. You have, Calgary in that division. You got to get through Edmonton. Yes, goaltending isn't great. Colorado probably is the class of the NHL, but I'm going to go with Florida. Just a great, well-balanced team, very big. Will goaltending hold up for the Florida Panthers? Because, man, they can score goals, and they can score a lot of them.
And that's the one thing with the Panthers is last year, Matthew, they had the goaltending issues in that first-round series with Tampa Bay. They got the scoring with Alexander Barkov. Jonathan Huberdeau had a career year, also adding Sam Bennett and Sam Reinhart over the last year or so, that there's so many guys they have scoring defensively that if they get shut down, then maybe that's the problem. But if no one can shut them down offensively, they'll probably be a tough out.
Yeah, 100%. You got to be able to stop them. So, you need to win some of those games 2-1, 3-2. You're not going to score 6 every night. We know that. They have a very good power play. You alluded to the fact that Huberdeau had an unbelievable year, not a breakout year. He's been great for a long time. But this is a really good team. And the additions of Sam Reinhart, that's a class guy to add to the mix. And Sam Bennett just not being used in Calgary the way he has been in Florida. This team can go all the way. They have all the attributes. They're strong defensively as well. It's just whether the goaltending can hold down the fort when you give up or when you're not able to score, 4 goals in a game. You have to win, and you need your goaltender to be able to steal you at least one game every series.
Now, the two teams, Matthew, below the Panthers in the Atlantic, Tampa Bay and Toronto, they're meeting up. And all the Maple Leaf fans, Matthew, know about Toronto's history. They haven't won a series since 2004, haven't won the Stanley Cup since 1967. Last year's meltdown against Montreal. You have Austin Matthews, the top goal scorer in the NHL. You have Tavares. There's plenty of guns on that side. But on the flip side, Tampa Bay's won the last 2 Stanley Cups. So who do you give the advantage to here in this series?
I think this is a flat line. And if you look at, the line, minus 127 for Toronto, this is a good hockey team that can score goals, a little bit like Florida. They're just more prone to making mistakes, I think, at critical times. And the addition of Mark Giordano on the back end certainly has helped. Jack Campbell, all-star, but also looked putrid at times after the all-star break. So, I just think this is a bad draw for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think they're as good a team as Tampa right now offensively. But until you beat the best team, until you beat the Stanley Cup champion, they've been there. There aren't going to be any nerves, and there's a lot of pressure on that core. The Mitch Marner, John Tavares, Austin Matthews, William Nylander. Can they perform at the right time in the playoffs? Because it's a much different beast than the regular season. So I like Tampa Bay Lightning to knock off Toronto again. And I'm from Canada. Listen, I'm going to get some hate emails and hate tweets after this one, but I'm all over Tampa Bay in this one.
In the Metro, Matthew, the Penguins and the Rangers, very interesting because you have Igor Shesterkin in net who, you can make the argument with all the big names that put up great seasons for them to win the Hart, but also you have Shesterkin that he's carried this Ranger team. I know the Rangers have a lot of talent as well. Does Pittsburgh have a shot here? Jari's hurt. Sidney Crosby up in age, even though he's still very productive. But do you give Pittsburgh a shot here, or does New York take this one?
I give them a shot. I think the odds are right where they should be, minus 117 in this series. I think New York's the better team. I think they're the younger team. And Shesterkin had a 2.07 goals against average. He had a little dip where he is probably the favorite with a couple months to go in the Hart race. Had a little bit of dip, but 2.07, pretty darn good for the young kid. They have a lot of explosiveness. I think they play well defensively. I like New York, but I don't think it's going to be a short series. I see this going 6 or 7 games.
Back in the West, Matthew, with Edmonton, you have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, 2 of the top scorers in the league, but yet this team just finds ways, like what happened last year, losing to Winnipeg in the first round. They just don't go far, and they made the coaching change midway through the season, which really helped them, which kind of got them back on their feet, finishing second in the West behind Calgary. Edmonton gets LA. Edmonton favored in this series. You think that Draisaitl and McDavid can finally get over the hump, at least here in the first round?
I do, and I think minus 250 is the perfect number. I think sports books are trying to get a little nibble on LA at minus 250. That's a pretty big number for a team that hasn't advanced and had success in a long time. Yes, you have Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, we know Connor McDavid, and they have a lot of offensive ability. But can they lock it down at the right time? Can Mike Smith or Koskinen come up big when it's needed? I think LA's surprised a lot of people this year. I don't think people thought they may be ready to make the playoffs, but it's been a good run for them. I still like Edmonton this series. I probably won't touch it at that price tag, but I like them advancing in 6 games.
Matthew, what's the most compelling first round series in your opinion?
There's a lot of good ones. I think Dallas Calgary is going to be really good. Calgary had a great year. We know Johnny Gaudreau topped the 100-point mark. Matthew Tkachuk's been very good. That top line with Lindholm has been very good. But I think Dallas is just one of those teams that never goes away. So I'm probably going to take Dallas as an underdog in that series. Calgary, like I said, had a great year. They're the favorites. They should win. I just think there's something about Dallas that never goes away. And I really do think that St. Louis mini lineup, as well as Tampa Bay, Toronto, are going to be all intriguing series that could go the distance.
Matthew Barnaby, 15-year NHL veteran, tough guy defenseman, and a lot of great insight from him. We appreciate his time. Matthew, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Cheers. Good luck to everyone out there.
And there's Matthew Barnaby. I am Kevin Rogers. Thanks a lot for watching the Stanley Cup Playoff Preview right here on our Vegas Insider YouTube channel.